Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakta Bhavati Naishtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 1, the first step in God realization. Text 34 onwards. So Shukdev Goswami is speaking to Parikshit Maharaj and telling him all about the universal form of the Lord. So basically behind him telling about the universal form of the Lord, although Parikshit Maharaj is a devotee, but still there are many people who are not completely attached to the personal feature of the Lord. And and Shukdev Goswami knew in future also there could be many people who would be hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So to make them progress step by step, Shukdev Goswami is speaking about the impersonal feature or the Virat Roop. First of all, he talked about the Virat Roop. And the idea, another idea behind talking about the Virat Roop is he's asking Parikshit Maharaj to get detached. So detachment is very important towards the end of the life. And when we see the way Shukdev Goswami is explaining the Virat Roop, when we see in the Virat Roop that everything actually belongs to Krishna. The rivers, the mountains, the trees, everything. Actually, it belongs to Krishna. It's in Krishna's body. So it is for Krishna's pleasure. It's for Krishna's service, not for our service, and not for us to get attached to. So another idea behind the Virat Roop is this. Let's see how further he explains. Ishasya kesham viduram bhuvahan vasastu sandhyam kuruvarya bhumna avyaktam ahar hridayam manascha sachandrama sarva vikara koshaha. O best among the Kurus, the clouds which carry water are the hairs on his head. The terminations of days or nights are his dress. And the supreme cause of material creation is his intelligence. His mind is the moon, the reservoir of all changes. So the clouds which carry water, so there are two kinds of clouds, one which don't carry water, one which carry water. So which carry water are the hairs on his head. So whenever in the rainy season we see clouds, we should remember Krishna, that these are like the hairs on the head of Virat Roop. Well, so sometimes the clouds could be black, sometimes the clouds could be gray. So somebody can ask, "Oh, Krishna has the Virat Roop has gray hair." This is just an idea to understand that everything is resting on the Supreme Lord. So when we see clouds during the rainy season, we can then visualize that this is here in the universal form, head of the universal form, and really appreciate the presence of the clouds. That Krishna, how universal form is so merciful. They're bringing out the rain for us. The terminations of days or nights are his dress. Means towards the end of the day or end of the night, when the time changes or the color changes or and the day is becoming night and night is becoming day. So that time he's saying it's his dress. Means just like somebody changes a dress to go to sleep and to when he wakes up, then he changes the dress. And the supreme cause of material creation is his intelligence. So there is a supreme cause behind material creation. It doesn't happen on its own. So that is his intelligence. His mind is a moon. Of course, at one place it is said his eye, one of his eyes is a moon, but here it is said his mind is a moon. So There could be different features we can think of, because moon actually, astrologically, it controls the mind. Sun controls the physical body, moon controls the mind. So, so moon, as we see, can also represent his mind, the reservoir of all changes, because moon keeps on changing. And the waxing moon and the waning moon. So similarly, the mind also keeps on changing. So the mind is a moon, the reservoir of all changes. Vigyan Shaktim Mahima Mananti Sarvatmano Antahkaranam Giritram Ashvashvattar Yushtra Gajanakhani Sarve Mriga Pashva Shroni Deshe. The principle of matter, Mahatattva, is a consciousness of the omnipresent Lord, as asserted by the experts. And Rudradev is his ego. The horse, mule, camel, and elephants are his nails, and wild animals and all quadrupeds are situated in the belt zone of the Lord. The wild animals and all the quadrupeds, the four-legged animals, are situated in the belt zone of the Lord. So whenever we see like the horse or the mule, camel, and elephants are his nails, means we should remember. Idea is anything we see, we should remember the Supreme Lord. That's the whole idea. Of course, if you don't exactly remember, okay, the horse, mule, camel, elephant represent his nails or something, but we can at least remember that they all belong to the Supreme Lord. Everything is present, the body of the Virat Rup, body of the Lord. So we should actually respect everything and everyone. Vayansi tad karanam vichitram manurmanisha manajo nivasah Gandharva Vidyadhar Charanapsara Swarasmritir Surani Kavirya. Varieties of birds are indications of his masterful artistic sense. Manu, the father of mankind, is the emblem of the standard intelligence, and humanity is his residence. The celestial species of human beings, like the Gandharvas, Vidyadhars, Charans, and angels, all represent his musical rhythm, and the demoniac soldiers are representations of his wonderful prowess. Means demons also represent some part of the universal form, and they represent of his wonderful prowess, because demons are always considered very powerful. That's why, in fact, that is one of the reasons Shukracharya always supports the demons, because he says demons are very powerful and they really work hard to achieve whatever they want to. On the other hand, the demigods, they are not powerful. They just always just go, any problem happen, they go running towards Vishnu and beg, pray to him, please protect us. So Shukracharya doesn't like that. He said they don't have any confidence in them. They don't have any power. What is it? They just go and pray? Can they fight properly? So that's why. And okay, that's his viewpoint. What can we do? And he's a guru. The aesthetic sense of the Lord is manifested in the artistic, colorful creation of the varieties of birds like the peacock, parrot, and cuckoo. So varieties of birds are his masterful artistic sense. The celestial species of human beings, like the Gandharvas and Vidyadhars, can sing wonderfully and can entice even the minds of the heavenly demigods. Their musical rhythm represents the musical sense of the Lord. How then can he be impersonal? So the celestial beings, Gandharvas and Vidyadhars, they sing very beautifully, and they represent the musical rhythm, musical sense of the Lord. So this is what Prabhupada is writing, that how can the Lord be impersonal? His musical taste, artistic sense, and standard intelligence. And standard intelligence, which is never fallible, are different signs of his supreme personality. The Manu Samhita is a standard law book for humanity, and every human being is advised to follow this great book of social knowledge. Human society is a residential quarters for the Lord. This means that the human being is meant for God realization and association with God. This life is a chance for the conditioned souls to regain his eternal God consciousness and thus fulfill the mission of life. Maharaj Prahlad is the right type of representative of the Lord in the family of Asuras. None of the living beings is away from the Lord's gigantic body. None of the living beings is away from the Lord's gigantic body. Not just the living beings, everything. Like we just read about the rivers and the mountains and the clouds. Each and every one has a particular duty in relation to the Supreme Body. Disruption in the matter of discharging the specific duty assigned to each and every living being is the cause of disharmony between one living being and another. But when the relation is re-established in relation with the Supreme Lord, there is complete unity between all living beings, even up to the limit of the wild animals and human society. So the problem is because we have forgotten that relationship, our relationship with the universal form and every living entity's relationship with it. So currently our viewpoint has become that if something or somebody is going to give me pleasure, he's my friend. If it doesn't, then he or she is my enemy. Or if the animal is attacking me and not giving me any pleasure, he's my enemy. If the animal is giving me milk or egg or whatever, then he's my friend. That's it. And this criteria of relationship has gone between not just between man and animal, between man and man, between man and women, between husband and wife, and everywhere. It's the same criteria. Not understanding that everything and everybody is related to the Supreme Lord. They are situated in their particular relationship with the Supreme. And if we consider that a devotee as a devotee we are developing love for God. Love for God means love for all His creation also. That is real love. So in that sense, then we should not be exploiting anybody or anything. So we should be developing the mood of service. This is like once Tamalkash Maharaj, he had asked a question, of course not to Prabhupada, but to his god brothers, and some discussion was going on. And he was saying that the people, if they ask Hare Krishnas, what are you doing for the um, about the pollution in the nature, in the water, in the soil, in the air? What are you doing? You are just chanting, and you think this will remove the pollution? In ultimately, yes, it will, because the idea of becoming Krishna conscious is that we also serve the nature, not just Krishna. Nature is also his energy. Nature, animals, birds, we are seeing everything, trees, rivers, they're all his energy, they're all part of his gigantic body. So if we have to serve, we serve all these also. So the problem in today's the way they work, like Modi ji is trying to get Ganga cleaned, which is nice, good attempt, good endeavor. But if we don't change the consciousness of the people living around Ganga or all over, For timing, okay, it can be cleansed, but later on we'll again pollute it. So idea is to change the consciousness. And then, yes, then there will be no pollution on Ganga. Then Ganges will be flowing freely and purely. But this consciousness, until it is cleansed, until it is purified, no permanent solution can ever have. So as devotees, we have a bigger responsibility. Because like Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita also, a leader, a common man just follows a leader. So if devotees are the leaders of the society, then we have to really lead them properly with our behavior, with our attitude, with our how we deal with others. So for that, first we have to change our consciousness. That's how it works. Prabhupada further writes, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed this living entity in the jungle of Madhya Pradesh. Displayed this living entity. There's some words are missing, where even the tiniest Supreme Lord, peace and amity all over the world. Means if everybody becomes Krishna conscious, that's the way to peace and happiness. Text 37. Brahmananam Kshatra Bhujo Mahatma Vidur Urangri Shrit Krishna Varnaha Nanabhidhabhijya Ganopapanno Dravyatmakah Karma Vitani Yogaha. The Virat Purusha's face is the Brahmins, his arms are the Kshatriyas, his thighs are the Vaishyas, and the Shudras are under the protection of his feet. All the worshipable demigods are also overtaken by him, and it's the duty of everyone to perform sacrifices with feasible goods to appease the Lord. So here it says his arms are the Kshatriyas, and some verses back it was said the demigods are his arms. So both ways it is right. So arms means by the arms he has to do the work. So by the arms anybody does the work. So the Kshatriyas, because they have to do the administration, and demigods are the administrators of the different departments of the universe. This means he does the work through his arms. So the Kshatriyas represent his arms, and demigods also represent his arms. Monotheism is practically suggested here. Offering sacrifices to many demigods under different names is mentioned in the Vedic literatures. But the suggestions made in this verse is that all those varieties of demigods are included in the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are only the parts and parcels of the original whole. Similarly, the divisions of the orders of human society, namely the Brahmins, the intelligent class, the Kshatriyas, the administrators, the Vaishyas, the mercantile community, and the Shudras, the laborer class, are all included in the body of the Supreme. As such, sacrifice by every one of them in terms of pleasing the Supreme by feasible goods is recommended. Generally, the sacrifice is offered with clarified butter and grains, but with the progress of time, human society has produced varieties of goods by transforming material supplies by God's material nature. Human society, therefore, must learn to offer sacrifices not only with clarified butter, but also with other manufactured goods in the propagation of the Lord's glory. And that will bring about perfection in human society. So it means the sacrifice has to be performed because everything and everybody is in relationship with the Supreme Lord, especially the gigantic body, universal form. So by performing sacrifice means any act done to please the Supreme Lord. By performing that sacrifice, one pleases the Supreme Lord, and In the process, he also pleases all the demigods and the whole society, the whole nature, the whole universe, because everything is contained in the body of this universal form. The intelligent class of men or Brahmins may give direction for such sacrifices in consultation with the previous acharyas. The administrators may give all facilities to perform such sacrifices. The Vaishya class, a mercantile community who produce such goods, may offer them for sacrifice. And the Shudra class may offer the manual labor for the for the successful termination of such sacrifice. So everybody can be engaged in performance of the sacrifice. Thus, by the cooperation of all classes of human beings, the sacrifice recommended in this age, namely the sacrifice of congregation chanting of the holy name of the Lord, may be executed for the common welfare of all the people. So when we perform this Sankirtan Yajna, or the congregational chanting of the holy names, then anybody and everybody who hears the holy name, whether they hear it receptively, whether they hear it grudgingly, whether they make fun of the holy name or the devotees, whether they get angry after hearing the holy name, whatever way, when they hear it, especially when it is chanted by pure devotees of the Lord, slowly and surely it will take an effect, and their heart, their consciousness, their mood will change. If not now, maybe 10 years, maybe next lifetime, who knows? But it will have an effect for sure. So this is how important this sacrifice is. And this is the real sacrifice of Kali Yuga, recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. So this chanting we said when we do prasad distribution, that's also Sankirtan Yajna. Means that we are glorifying the Supreme Lord. When we do book distribution, that's also Sankirtan Yajna. And that's also very glorifying class. Hare Krishna. Somehow I got kicked out. Text 38. इयान सावीश्वर विग्रहस्य यः सन्निवेश कथितो मयाते संध्यार्थे अस्मिन् वपुषि स्थविष्ठे मनः स्वबुद्ध्या न यत्वस्ति किंच. I have this conception of the person desires liberation, concentrates his mind on this form of the Lord, because there is nothing more than this in the material world. So this was Parikshit Maharaj's question. What should one do who's about to die? So in the material world, there's nothing more than this. So Shivdev Goswami is clarifying it. In Bhagavad Gita 9:10, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has verily explained that the material nature is only an order-carrying agent of His. She is one of the different potencies of the Lord, and she acts under His direction only. As a supreme transcendental Lord, He simply casts a glance over the material principle, and thus the agitation of matter begins, and the resultant actions are manifested one after another by six kinds of gradual differentiations. The six kinds of gradual differentiations is anything that is born, first it takes birth, then it grows, then it stabilizes or remains for some time, it produces byproducts, it dwindles, and it vanishes. Those are the six changes. All material creation is moving in that way, and thus it appears and disappears in due course. Of course, a long purport Prabhupada has written. So, towards the end, Prabhupada says, each and every item of the material manifestation entails a part of the body of the gigantic form. And thus the flickering mind can be fixed in the Lord only and nothing else. This process of concentrating on the different bodily parts of the Lord will gradually diminish the demoniac challenge of godlessness and bring about gradual development of devotional service to the Lord. Everything being a part and parcel of the complete whole, the neophyte student will gradually realize the hymns of Ishopanishad which state that the Supreme Lord is everywhere, and thus he will learn the art of not committing an offense to the body of the Lord. This sense of God-mindedness will diminish one's pride in challenging the existence of God, and thus one can learn to show respect to everything, for all things are part and parcels of the Supreme Body. So the universal form, although it's material and although it is imaginary and although it's temporary, but still has a function to perform. It should make us aware of that everything is resting on Krishna's gigantic body or on Krishna. Everything has a relationship with Krishna, and everything should be used in service of Krishna, not for our exploitation or advantage, taking advantage. So I'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Try to read this book and try to understand further the gigantic form.
Yeah, it's wonderful explanation though. So I guess we can stop. You all have a wonderful Monday. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.